This essay is proof that anywhere, even IKEA, and anything, even a ball pit, can become the foundation for a great college essay. But just like the ball pit itself, this story does fall into a few pitfalls. Make sure to watch this whole video so you don't make the same mistakes too. Let's jump in. Smallland, a small, magical Swedish forest where the sun shines golden, shimmering along a vast, majestic lake. Except the sun is really overhead tube lights and the lake is hundreds of plastic balls. Still, my 10-year-old mind pierced the illusion of reality. I greeted the yellow gatekeepers, their armor marked with the mysterious IKEA emblem, protecting Smallland from the grown-up world. What I really enjoy about this hook is how the writer, the applicant, is describing the yellow gatekeepers using metaphors, similes, personification, those poetic devices really is one of the best ways and one of the simplest ways to just upgrade your essay by 10 or 20%. So definitely steal like an artist here and use that to your advantage. Also, beginning with a definition is totally fine. I think that honestly, this is a really nice hook. I love the use of the misdirection. We think it is like a fantastical place, and then we find out that it's actually a real place that this writer applicant is describing. So that misdirection definitely makes the story, the opening hook, very interesting, and I'm super excited to read on. Today was the day I would conquer the mystery of the forest, the lake's unreachable bottom, the bottom of the ball pit. I darted past the gatekeepers and dove headfirst into the suffocating pit, fingers probing for the unseen floor. Eventually, oxygen called and I surfaced, unsuccessful. But my path and my purpose remained unshaken. Each visit, I dove again, the quest defining my very existence. Overall, I do find myself really enjoying the drama here and how diving into the ball pit can serve as basically an extended metaphor for how this student is embodying a spirit of adventure and discovery. However, one thing to note is that we don't want this whole story to revolve around just essentially this one experience where the student visited Smallland, IKEA for when they were 10 years old. We do want to talk about how their interest, their relationship with IKEA has evolved while they themselves are also evolving at the same time too. A great model would be the Costco essay. And for those of you who are struggling to come up with a topic, this is one of the best formulas, topics to use. Just pick a place that has really special significance to you, that you visited year after year after year. It could be a supermarket, it could be a skating rink, it could be just a park, it could be a beach. Grounding your story in a setting is a really simple way to kind of just get started, and it can make for some really incredible essays. Again though, the key is to make sure that as you're describing this environment and talking about how it changes, you also talk about how you change and you've improved, evolved, adapted, grown over the course of time, right? That's really how you're going to make this kind of essay work. Then one day, the yellow gatekeepers did not let me in. They measured me against the wall and declared I had exceeded the height limit. I looked into their eyes and realized I was deemed unworthy. If I wasn't the one destined to uncover the bottom of that pit, who was I? Did this mean I had to enter the scary grown-up world? In my opinion, a lot of this is still background and problem, so I'm going to highlight it in red. Here at Elevated, we describe problem not just terrible things happening to you, but anything that's kind of like background information or context. And again, a lot of this is happening when the applicant is very young. It sounds like they're younger than 12 years old, and we're not very interested in 12-year-old applicants. We're interested in like 15, 16, 17-year-old applicants. Honestly, some of the best stories are about things that have happened to you in the recent past, like in the summer before your senior fall. Those tend to make for really awesome essays. With all that being said, a lot of this context can still remain in the story, especially because the voice is so good, but I would just shorten and condense it down a little bit. I left the gates of Smallland, staring at the dull concrete ground. Suddenly, a bright arrow shone onto the floor. Perhaps the yellow gatekeepers knew I was meant for a greater mission. Eyes obsessed, I chased the arrows. But the arrow zigzagged through ominous grown-up items, a Varmblixt 12-inch lamp, an army of Vardigan measuring cups, even Bagabo shelves 2 knees tall. The more I followed, the more restless I became, my mind doubting, wondering if I truly understood what I was meant to do. There's a fine line between the drama and at the same time, maybe if it's too overdramatic, it's a little bit hard to follow and hard to believe. So I'm highlighting what is problem and what is solution. Still pretty much all this red stuff is problem. I do like that they're including these specifics, but if you're going to show specific details, we need to have a reason, right? It needs to be associated with your solution, your growth, your evolution, your impact on others. Right now, we're just kind of listing items and we're not really sure why. If the student said something like, wow, as I looked at the Varmblixt 12-inch lamp, I wondered, As I studied the army of Vardigan measuring cups, I started to think to myself, what if blah blah blah? That would be a really cool way to show initiative and curiosity, which by the way are 2 of the 6 key points on our V-Spice rubric. I'm getting a lot of initiative, I'm getting a lot of discovery in this essay, but I want to see like some academic rigor and like real intellectual vitality. Maybe the student can say they had been studying how light works in their physics class, and they were experimenting with the lamp and how it's spraying across different shelves. Or maybe the student can talk about how they started measuring things and something along those lines. The goal is really to show that the student is very intellectually curious and not that they're just wanderingly, aimlessly around IKEA. As I continued, my gaze suddenly caught a giant wire basket overflowing with plushy golden retrievers, lions, and pandas. Without thinking, my hands of their own volition pounced on the wire basket and I tumbled inside, laughing. This time I felt no urge to find the center bottom of the crate. All that mattered were the animals that filled it and the joy that filled me. In the distance, a glowing computer called out. I left the basket and rushed to the screen that unlocked a world where I could create anything. The once scary grown-up items didn't seem so scary anymore, but rather tools for my imagination. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. However, it still sounds like this is all happening when the student is, like, I want to say 10, 12, and it would be a lot more powerful to say that they revisited IKEA again and again and again. And during their most recent visit, they were really experimenting and building cool things. Because I feel like this is more happening around middle school age era. Anyways, let's continue on. I dragged the 12-inch lamp to the center of the ceiling and stacked the measuring cups into the looming shelves, creating my own virtual kitchen. I ran into another room full of bunk beds, space theme, car theme, ocean theme, with peculiar names like Smastad, Tufind, and Midel. I'm probably butchering those names. I daydreamed, thinking about how one would perfectly fit in my room. I continued on, discovering secret dark hallways that teleported me from the computer section to living room essentials. I sat on every beanbag, couch, and chair that my butt could find, rating them from I'd rather sit on a cactus to this is literally heaven. This, I think, is a really nice detail. I think it's just very, very fun, and it shows that there's a little bit of analysis going on where they're rating them and tracking everything. So that shows a little bit of intellectual vitality. In my opinion though, there's still not enough depth when it comes to that intellectual vitality that would make an admissions officer go, wow, this person really has something to add in a college seminar at Harvard or Yale. But I'm gonna show you exactly how to fix this in the next couple of minutes by taking a page from a really successful essay, the Costco Essay. And we'll see that these are 2 very, very similar essays. They're both grounded in a particular space, a very, very common, open, relatable place. But at the same time, the Costco essay you'll see is like 2 or 3 times better, in my professional opinion, precisely because it hammers this intellectual curiosity nail so well. I pressed further until I saw the yellow gatekeepers once again. I had circled the entire store and returned to the gates of Smallland. Once more, I looked into their eyes, very dramatic, but this time it was okay. I was okay. I no longer felt unworthy, lost, or confused. Somewhere between chasing and losing arrows, tumbling into baskets of stuffed animals, and building kitchens out of lamps and measuring cups, I realized it isn't purpose that brought me joy, but the process of achieving it. Purpose no longer restrained me, only guided me, giving me the chances to look at the little things that truly brought me joy. Apologies if this comes across as kind of brutally honest or a little too mean, but I think that this paragraph is relatively weak, mainly because it's essentially summarizing and repeating a lot of the stuff we've said before, and then this claim here, it just isn't quite landing. This idea of saying, I found my purpose in IKEA, it's a bit of a tough pill to swallow, and I would change the takeaway a bit more and essentially talk more about how IKEA ignited your imagination, adventure, curiosity, discovery. That's a little bit more believable. We can still tweak that and make it a bit more interesting and sophisticated of a claim, but to say that it gave me purpose, it endowed me with this like spiritual enlightenment, to me, that's a bit of a stretch. It seems a tad over dramatic, and that's something that I would watch out for in your own essays. It can be very hard to figure this out on your own. So definitely once you have a pretty solid draft like this, show it to a trusted advisor. You guys can also send it to us. We'll review it on our portal, elevated.school/edit-my-essay. In total, over the last couple years, we reviewed thousands of essays, and I promise if you send it there, you'll get some of the best feedback you've ever received on a written piece in your entire life. You can also use the code YouTube15 to get 15% off your first edit. Now, whenever I return to IKEA, I don't hunt for the single piece of furniture I came to purchase. I wander, sitting in chairs I don't need, opening drawers I'll never buy, and learning new Swedish names that I'll never be able to pronounce. I still don't know what lies under that ball pit, yet somehow I always had more fun not knowing. To me, I really think that we don't need so much conclusion. I feel like a lot of students, they spend 2-3 paragraphs writing about their insights, their reflections, their takeaways. But at the same time, we are more interested in kind of what you've done and how you interpret those actions than kind of these big picture philosophical musings, if that makes sense. I really do think that is a big pitfall that many students fall into. They just tend to get so lost in the clouds, and really we want to see more concrete action that you can't just think, but you can also do. If I had to rate this essay using our rubric is a 9-point rubric, and the top 1% of essays, every student who actually got a 9 got into a top 10 school over the last couple of years. But again, this is 1% of essays. In terms of, let's say, 1,000 essays we receive, less than 10 are 9s. It is possible for this essay to hit a 9, definitely. It has that kind of potential. However, in its current state, I would give it closer to a 6 or 7. There's a ton of personality, but there's some big problems with the problem solution ratio, and there's not enough like true curiosity, or as well as some of the other aspects, right? Like E is creative expression. We definitely see kind of a lot of creative interpretations, and there's that moment where the student creates this make-believe kitchen. But again, that just feels like it's all happening so long ago when they were 13. Another thing that would really help is if this student demonstrated more selflessness, and it wasn't just about them exploring IKEA, but they brought their little cousins to IKEA and turned it into, you know, a make-believe battleground or some sort of fantastical environment where they played games together. That would be really powerful. Or, you know, another angle, like adding vulnerability. You're like, we could only afford IKEA furniture because my dad lost his job. You know, one time we didn't even go to IKEA, or we would, you know, go to the IKEA dumpster and we would get broken down furniture and then we would fix it and patch it up. So those are different ways to just kind of get creative juices flowing and thinking about how you can make this story a bit more multidimensional, aside from just being like, I explored IKEA when I was 12 or when I was 10. That's kind of the major takeaway that I'm getting from this essay so far. Now, to fix it, let's take a look at the Costco essay. Maybe you guys have never heard about it because it's actually quite old, but this very famous Costco essay earned Brittany Stinson admission to Yale, UPenn, Columbia, Cornell, Dartmouth, Stanford, and many other schools. It's one of the best essays I've ever had the pleasure of reading. There's a bunch of amazing techniques she uses. I made a whole other video just about this essay, so definitely check it out. A lot of you guys are just kind of like passively watching great essays, but we need to figure out how we can take what they have and really apply it to our own work, right? So that's what I'm about to do in the next couple of minutes. First off, let's analyze what's working in the Costco essay. I'm gonna skip the hook, even though it's really quite something. And I wanna focus on this section here, which is all about intellectual vitality, curiosity, and there's some elements of academic rigor as well as humor. And essentially what we're gonna do is we're gonna break this down into a formula, and then we're going to fill in the blanks. So here's Costco essay paragraph 2. It says, notorious for its oversized portions and $1.50 hot dog combo, Costco is the apex of consumerism. And so what we're gonna do is essentially the same thing, but for IKEA. We can say famous for its blank and blank. You might say IKEA is the forefront of blank, right? And I'm not saying that you should use the exact same structure for the whole paragraph, but this is just a very simple way to get started, especially if you're starting from 0 and you don't even have a first draft yet. This is just one of the best ways to put words on the page. It's kind of like entering a kitchen and you don't know how to cook. Do you want to just slap random ingredients together? Or maybe there are proven recipes that have been invented by super famous chefs who have, you know, been lauded with a bunch of cooking awards, and you could just use their recipe. So that's kind of what we're doing here. Same thing for the next sentence. We would just say, from the days where I used to blank, IKEA has always had a steady presence throughout my life. We can change some of these terms a little bit later, but really the part that I want to get into is this section over here. Like, we can start to see so many amazing examples of intellectual curiosity through questions. So that's something that I would steal like an artist in this essay. If you guys are trying to show intellectual curiosity at any point in your essays, whether it's in your Common App essay or your supplemental essays, use questions. Now, you guys might not know this, but fun fact about me is that I used to be the humor editor of my school's newspaper back in high school. So I took a few minutes to put together this quirky, humorous version, kind of inspired by the Costco essay, but now we're using IKEA details. Take a look, guys. This is the kind of stuff that will get you into your dream school. Pay attention. Famous for its maze-like floor plan and meatballs that taste suspiciously better than they should, IKEA is consumerism in Swedish disguise. From the days I got lost in Smallland's ball pit to when I was finally old enough to wield an Allen wrench, IKEA has remained a steady constant in my life. As a practiced IKEA navigator, I march past Fjabel tables and Billy bookcases, pushing a cart that squeaks like it's on its last screw. I can't help but chuckle watching families debate over Heimne's dressers versus Brimney's wardrobes, only to leave with nothing but a stuffed blahaj shark. I'm butchering these pronunciations, but bear with me. Same thing here, we're gonna use these kinds of questions to showcase humor, personality, and curiosity. Who needs 12 tea lights and a cactus-shaped lamp? Why does every bookshelf sound like it belongs to a Norse god? IKEA gave birth not just to my curiosity, but to my appreciation for the absurd. Of course, a paragraph like this should not be your final draft. You'll keep tweaking it until it kind of looks very, very different from this. Maybe you add a third question, maybe you're removing 1 or 2 sentences, but this is just a great place to get started, to get the ball rolling. And so you can do this. I did this for the second paragraph of the Costco essay, but you could do it for the third paragraph or the fourth paragraph or the conclusion. And so this is just one of the best ways to literally steal like an artist. And you could do this from different essays. Oh, the hook of the Costco essay is really good. Oh, there's another essay on the elevated channel and I was really inspired by their conclusion. Okay, let me model this person's hook and let me model that person's conclusion. Great, now let me refine it until it sounds completely fundamentally unique to me. Do you guys see what's going on here? This is how great storytellers kind of hone their craft. This is the same secret hack that I used when I was in high school to win prizes in creative writing. But instead of stealing from random college essays on the internet, I would steal from Nobel Prize winning authors. I was reading Toni Morrison or Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and I was like, wow, this paragraph is fascinating. Great, let me take the same sentence structure and flow, but modify it to my parents' Chinese restaurant. Wow, Toni Morrison, it's so interesting how she introduces this character. Let me see if I can introduce my sister or my father in a very similar way or vibe to achieve a similar effect. I have a feeling your English teacher or guidance counselor probably forgot to teach you this, but hey, that's why I'm here. All right, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this analysis, and if you want your essay reviewed on the channel, all you have to do is like, comment, subscribe, and then email the contact below. And if you would like your essay professionally reviewed, we'd be more than happy to help. Just upload it to elevated.school/edit-my-essay. We've reviewed thousands of essays in the past couple of years. Use this code, YouTube15, to get 15% off your first edit. It would be our great privilege and joy to review and give world-class feedback to your work. This is one of the most important stories you will ever write in your life, so take it seriously. I am furiously rooting for you guys, and I can't wait for you guys. I am just so passionate about stories and their potential to change the world, to change your life. So let me know in the comment section below what you learned from this video and what kind of stories or tips you want me to share next. This content is for you guys. If it was just for me, I would sound crazy recording videos in a dark room. This is ultimately to benefit and help you guys. I've already applied to college. I've done it. Now it's your turn. You got this. Thanks for sticking until the end. I'll catch you next time. Peace.